Hello and welcome, as it is the completion of the 21st day of June 2018. Welcome to the Money Charts channel. Like always, all bets, all trades, and of the like. Within your own risk, own reward. And on the daily chart for Bitcoin, we have an update, a decent sized green candle, and it happened pretty much all at once as expected when it breaks key levels, and almost certainly around the 66 handle was a key number. Now it's 6,900. So a gain of 300 basis points, close to 5% from the break of the resistance field. It's gotten above the 18 average. So that's an attempt in that of reverting the trend. Step one of a reversal is for the band to flatten, which has been the case over the last couple of days. Stage two is now established a level of resistance, which is what it's doing. And I would expect and think it would probably go at least a little bit higher, maybe crack into close to 7,000, maybe a little bit more within this move. When we take a look at this, say on a 3-hour time frame, I was mentioning this key point, like how often this level of resistance was tested. Like you're on your second handful of counts. You need 2 hands to count, or greater than 5 times. And of course, we can see a decent size break above that level. It's at 6805. I was like 6,900 like a couple seconds ago, I think. So a lot of volatility within the markets. There's the single-hour time frame that was grinding this 18-hour all day. And then, of course, just decides to break. Or, I mean, it's just buyers coming in of larger levels than other, like bigger size buy, of course. And on the 15-minute term time frame, since the big move up, there's been 4 periods and it's just grinding its way higher. So it's correcting. You could say it's correcting sideways with an up move, but it's, I don't know what name to give it, but it's a pretty cool looking situation, because instead of going sideways or even correcting down through price, it's another way of it's lowered its volatility a little bit. And it's actually on the 1-minute time frame. It looks pretty cool, as we can see that it had its move like 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at like how fast this moves, as I mentioned. So if you're trying to wait to get in and on the break have that buy at just a little, I mean, you don't have much time, and it can be very difficult to trade in that measure, I would think. But since, of course, that move to the top on the 1-minute time frame, what has it done? Well, we've established this level of resistance here. Again, here for 2, 3. And after a significant period of time below it, it's done so here. And it's corrected back down now to what has been short-term level of support. So it's establishing and correcting within its move still. And if you have situations where it corrects through price and you're coming down here, the question to me always is, in a spot like this, okay, this is normal if, of course, this is going to happen. And it's one of 2 things. It's either in the stages of the failed breakout before the fast move lower, or it's having a very short-term correctionary move that's going to obviously continue on with further gain, or the first, well, yeah, just as I state, just a correctionary move on the either or situation. So we look at the 2 possible outcomes, and we'll use the hour time frame to use this one. Any of this type of short-term move down here, it's not uncommon if it's a real move to come down there and then quickly, and that's within the next, well, through the night, basically into tomorrow morning, have further gains towards the upside. But what I look for on a failed move is, first, I know the established level, I know where it congested from. So I'm not going to expect it to spend too much time in this area. So if you have something, especially like the what I call the Bart-Simpson formation, just something that looks like, well, the Bart Simpson head, of course, or but just a move where it goes up, maybe goes sideways for a bit, and then goes basically straight back down. If it comes back down towards this point, then thereafter it comes back to its congestion area, which is within these two lines here. So from around under 64 to about close to 66, so 65 and change. So 64, 6500. The 6400s is the main area where it congested. Coming back in towards that area relatively quick would give me a lot of indication that that is a failed breakout, and then not only does it come back to this area in here, but it could most likely break down below that key support and a decent move. And that's of course on the situation, on if it's a failed breakdown. Again, overall within the daily term time frame, and I'm just waiting for, there we go, there's the load. It's getting above this 18 average, and it's basically it's a statement move, because whenever I see a situation where it tries to do something like in reversal of trend like this and it ultimately fails, and that's a failed move, you expect a leg lower in bear market movements. And the overall long-term situation is going to be done using the 3-day time frame, and it's loading slow. There has been heavy rain here, although it's not raining at this moment, so the internet should be fine, but it's working. It's still basically within its correctionary move. Yes, it didn't support into this 18 band, and you could say it's in the resistance area now, but it didn't break down below this last key level of support. So to me, if it goes a little bit below it, comes back in, that's Pierce Extra, and you're still in that ultimate mode of correcting, and it's got to get above the 18 average of highs to even attempt what the stage 4 is, and that is to break that level of resistance, because stage 1 again is for a band from a downtrend to flatten and then establish a level of resistance. Stage 2, that's right there. Stage 3, come back, and again Pierce Extra, so be it. But if it doesn't break below here and thus holds in the area, then the 18 is just eventually going to go sideways neutral, and that's what you're looking for in the stage anyway, is for it to have that type of neutrality from the move. But if it again comes back up here, breaks above this resistance, that would be a very interesting situation, because that would put the bias in my book to that back into an early bull market stage. But until then, as we've been going on for pretty much the entire year, every time 6,000 area has been placed, it has succeeded every single time, and it will, until either it will not, or until we can just say goodbye and say that's part of the past, thus execute a bull market, because none of these lower highs have been taken out. And when you get in a situation where the market can make a move like a matching low, come back up, break it, that would create, just making it to this point, a double bottom, which is like two U's, two V-shaped formations. Although the first U would be, well, it took a long time to go from here to here, and it could take that same amount of time to go from here to here or whatever, because as we can see with the last few periods, at least on this, the volatility is by no means big. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It's small amongst this stage. But the resistance that I've been looking at has been taken out. And well, thank you for tuning in, and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.